everyone, if you're there. I see a ladies, excuse me. Lady Me's been here. Glenda, nice to see you. Give me a moment. Jerry, how you doing? Having trouble seeing your message here where I can get to it. If you'll comment again, Glenda, I'll give you a blue jacket. I can't give it to you right now because it's not showing up on my phone, which is where I need it to show up so I can give you your jacket. Oops. Give me a second, everybody. I'm still getting things set up. I'm a little slow. How you doing, Jerry? Good to see you. There it is. If you want to come up, Jerry, you know you're always welcome. And like I said, Glenda, if you comment again, I'll get you a blue jacket. And I got it on. Okay. Turn this down. Yeah, I got it on. Okay. Whoops. Turn this down. There's something going on here. There we go. So, all right, everyone. Let me get my ear plugged in. I don't know why, though. Nobody's talking to me yet. Glenda, if I remember right, found me through Pinky Gray, I think. I could be wrong. It could have been with somebody else. Okay. Turn that down a little bit. It was starting to echo in my ear. Hey, ABCM, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for coming. Now, I have Glenda made a comment earlier, but I haven't seen her since I've gone live. And I can't give her a blue jacket until she comments after I've gone live. We got Jerry coming up. Hey, Jerry.
Hey, evening.
How you doing, man?
Okay, been a long week.
Yeah, well, it's been a short weekend.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of overtime for us.
Well, I get 3 days off.
I missed those days. I had
It goes too quick, though. It goes too quick.
Yep.
ABCM says hi, Jerry.
Oh, greetings to her.
Yeah. The reason why I do that, ABCM, he's on his phone, so he can't read the chat. So now yesterday I had to get up early. I couldn't sleep in like I usually like to on Fridays and Saturdays. I had to get up early. I had to go to the DMV and get my car registered, renew my registration actually. And in New York, that's good for 2 years. So I don't have to do it again for 2 more years. But after that, I had to go to the dealership, get the car inspected. That's done once a year. But I also had to get the oil changed, the tires rotated, and then it turned out I needed a new air filter for the cabin air filter. So I had all that done. So I spent a bit of money yesterday.
Yeah,
but it's all stuff that had to be done, and thankfully it's not done every month. Now the oil change and tire rotations I do about every 5,000 miles. But the rest of it's like either 1 or 2 years, so it's not too bad. Viking, how you doing, man? Welcome. If you want to come up, come on up. Thank you, ABCM. I bought that at the Filipino festival I went to. For those that can't see it, there you go. It's got the Filipino flag on it. I figured I'd wear this hat instead of the base cowboy hat. I'll wear the ball cap instead. So I had made today, which I usually do, make Saturdays my lazy day. Although I made it lazier than normal today. A lot of times there's stuff I usually do on Friday that I would have done today, but I just didn't feel like doing. So that means tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me. Yes, it's got the Filipino flag on it. That's why I bought this ball cap. It was like I said, I bought it as a souvenir from the Filipino festival that I went to. That you've seen all those videos for it. And in one of the videos I show the cap. Not me wearing it, but I show the cap, and I end up buying it. Not at that time because I was still doing videos. I went back and bought it later. And we appreciate that, Viking, the big ups. But so we're just trying to enjoy ourselves, on my weekend. And oh well, you I wouldn't mind the overtime myself, Jerry, but I really don't like overtime. I wouldn't want to have to do it all the time. I actually prefer to work just 40, but what I do like about the overtime is the money.
Yeah.
I still got to, by winter time, I'm going to have to spend even more money than what I spent this yesterday because my rear brakes are going to have to be replaced. Oh, probably the next time I get an oil change. It may be the one after that, but I'll probably do it on the next oil change. And brakes aren't cheap, so that'll be a little bit spending there, but that's what you got to do if you want to keep your car in good shape, right? You got to spend the money.
Yep.
And like I said, this is the very first new car I ever bought. I bought it in 21. It's a 21. I did not ever plan on buying a brand new car. I thought about it, but I wasn't planning on it. But my car I had, which was a 2012 RAV4, was T-boned and was totaled. So I had to buy a different car. I was going to buy a new to me, a used car, in other words, or new to use, what some people call it, but new to me. But I was looking at them, and a 3-year-old car with 20-some thousand miles on it was only $3,000 less than a brand new one with the same package, the same upgrades. About $3,000 for a 3-year-old car. I mean, if it had been 1 year, maybe even 2 years, I might have done it. But that's only $1,000 a year, and as most people know, as soon as you drive it off the lot, you lose almost that much in value.
Yep. As soon as
as soon as the name goes in that title, it loses value.
Yeah.
But that was because in 21 they had that chip shortage, so used cars were a premium, and so I got probably twice as much money out of my car when they totaled it than what I would have normally got. I won't say twice as much, but close to it. Quite a bit more than what I was expecting over the payoff. And so I put a heck of a down payment on a new one, and my payments still weren't cheap. But the only new ones I could find was that I could drive off the lot was the Crosstrek that I bought. There was two of them. There was a black and a silver. I took the silver because I don't like black cars or red cars or white cars. The red car draws the attention of the police too much, and I like the speed, so I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And the black and the white both show the dirt too much, if you ask me.
Yep.
So I went with the silver one. They had the exact same package, so I went with the silver. And I've did a video on that car, so I mean, if you want to see what it looks like, you can go back and you'll see me showing my car at that time. Probably back close to when I first started. I don't know if he still follows. He hadn't made a comment in a long time, but I had a follower named Raymond, and he made some suggestions for some videos. And so I did some of those. Matter of fact, I sung happy birthday to him because, like I said, he was one of my first followers that actually commented on a regular basis. And I sang happy birthday to Sammy. And So he asked me if I'd sing happy birthday to him, so I did.
How's Sammy doing? I don't think I followed her.
I haven't
I don't think I
been there
followed Sammy.
lately. She's been doing a lot of games, computer games on her live. Now, occasionally she'll do the talk where they'll maybe sing and stuff, but most of the time when I go in there, if she's doing a live stream, she's playing a computer game. And sorry, Viking, but I'm not really into computer games.
Yeah,
it's not my thing, I mean, if I'm going to play a computer game, it's going to be a card game, solitaire or Free Cell. If you ever played Free Cell,
it's been a long time, but yeah.
I haven't played any card games either in probably a couple of years. But I was addicted to Free Cell for a while. I'd stay up a lot later, and I'd have to work the next day. And I'd have to be at work, let's say 8 in the morning, and I'd stay up to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning playing Free Cell.
Free Cell and Solitaire.
Yeah, I played something, but Free Cell's the one that really got me addicted. So I finally quit doing that a few years back. So, yeah, it was a tough game for me to give up originally. And Anna G, how you doing, Anna? Thank you for coming. Mike, thank you for coming. So we got Mike married to a beautiful woman, and Anna G is in the house. We want to thank him for coming.
Yeah.
And Mike's saying hi, Jerry.
Hey, Mike from Canada.
Want to know how Texas is?
It's this week we had a few days in the hundreds, but it's mainly been in upper 90s.
Well, we were cool this week. We've been down in the 50s and 60s in the morning, which is very cool for this time of year.
Yeah, we won't see that till like November.
Well, it's back. It got back up to 80 some today, which is still a little cooler than normal for this time of year, but not too bad. It's a lot closer to normal.
80s are overnight low, basically, about 80, 82.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a little cool for this time of year, but it's a lot closer to normal. I'm talking about the high, not the low. The high is usually in the mid 80s or a little bit better, and it just got into the 80s barely. Anna, it's Jerry. He goes, Sir Jerry, ? South Texas. Yeah. This is Jerry's from, I call South Texas home, Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jerry.
Does Mike follow Low Roller? I don't follow him. It's been a while since I've been in one of his videos.
I've never followed Low Roller. I haven't. So Anna G is saying hi, Jerry.
Hey, Anna G.
Now she knows who you are.
Yeah, but I don't go on. I don't do lives, and they asked me, "Why don't you do lives?" I said, "Well, with the videos that I put out, I already have enough hours."
Yeah. Well, like I said, I do live because I enjoy it. I don't think I put out a single video this week.
Yeah, I did a few of them, not too many.
Yeah, but no, I did quite a few last week. I put out one every day. I mean, Monday through Friday, there was 5 videos I did last week. But this week I didn't put out any. I hope to get 1 or 2 out next week. Like I said, I like the live stream, but let's be honest about it. I don't have enough followers to do live streams every day.
Yeah.
So it's just I do what I do 1 a week. Now when we have the time change, I think that's going to be in November this year. I'll be doing it an hour earlier for us, but it'll be the same time in the Philippines. I want to keep so it'll be like instead of 7 for you, it'll be 6 because you're Central, right?
Yeah, we're right
now. What time are you right now?
It's 7:16.
Yeah, so like I said, it'd be an hour earlier after the time change.
Yeah, we're 13 hours behind the Philippines.
I'm 12 right now, and Dan, how you doing? Dan Amending Journeys here.
Dan,
he says he loves watching the chickens there, Jerry. But so yeah, it's I know it helps out you if I do it an hour earlier, but I want to keep the time Same for the girls in the Philippines, because I know they're up fixing breakfast and getting their kids and themselves ready for church. And
yeah, because
I don't want to interrupt their routine very much if I can keep from it. So that's why I keep doing. That's why I'm going to keep doing it at the same time. That's why I switched to 8 o'clock, because I was doing it at 7 o'clock when I first started doing these, but it was 8 o'clock there, and I decided to keep it the same way. And so I just think it's better that way. It just it makes things a little more rush for me. I shouldn't say it makes it more rush. I got to watch my time better when I do it earlier. Sometimes I don't even make it. I have a hard time getting here by 8. That's because I'm busy playing around, So I'm just, when the time changes, I got to get used to getting the things done and not play as much, because I'm going to have to get on here earlier. I was watching I don't know if you ever watched that 90s show. It's a takeoff from the 70s show. It's the Eric and what's her name, Mona.
Yeah, I never saw the 70s show.
Anyway, it was the young couple who dated off and on throughout the show. It's their daughter now, and she's staying with Eric's parents during the summer months, and but they're based in the 90s instead of the 70s. And so it's supposed to be like 96, and it's a bunch of high school kids again. And I enjoyed the 70s show when I watched it, so I'm watching this. It's only got it's one season. There's like 3 parts. Each part's like maybe 8 shows. They come out with one part, and then they don't come out for a while. Then they come out with the second part. Like I said, each one's about 8. I just finished watching the third, so I'm all caught up. And if they continue it, I'll watch it again when they do it. It's on Disney Plus. Not Disney Plus. Listen to me, Paramount Plus. I don't have Disney. I don't want Disney. It's on Paramount Plus, which is a CBS, streaming show. Dan says, I hear Low Roller is a Bitcoin millionaire now. And like I said, like Mike's like me, he never followed Low Roller.
I should see the food videos.
I never watched a single one of his videos. Hey, Lady Meek, how you doing?
Yeah, I wasn't into the lotto ticket ones, but the food videos I used to see. That's years ago. He hasn't done those. He doesn't do those. See, the chickens were eating the styrofoam, and there was some other ones that are eating the eggshells.
Yeah. All right, Sweet Rona's here, and just gave a couple more monitors out. Now, for those of you who are low tech like Dan or no tech like me, if you want to get your channel out and let people know about it, you just type in LLL. My Nightbot will drop it for you. It's very simple. And so I want to thank everybody for coming. We'll keep going for a while. We don't know how long, because I know here in about a half an hour or so, the guy I got up here with me will be getting ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
I know you, Jerry. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Nope.
My younger sister, she's an early bird as well for bed and getting up. And but now I've never been an early bird for going to bed or getting up. I have to get up early because of my job, but I was never one that wanted to get up early. I would never. My mom, if she's lucid, would tell you that I was never wanted to go to bed, and I never wanted to get up. I've been that way all my life. I wanted to stay up until I just fell over, and I never wanted to get back up the next morning.
Yeah, no, I'm the opposite. I'm in the morning The morning person.
Like I said, I never wanted to go to bed, never wanted to get up. So that was tough for me, but I had always had to do it because of school and stuff like that. But Mike. Dan was talking about going back to the Philippines in a little over a month on his last live stream that I was in. That was on Friday. You're not. Have you let Pattaya yet, John Min? Yeah, they got a new show coming out, Mike. The NCIC is talking about. It's the origin story of Leroy Jethro Gibb. It's Gibbs. I mean, it's starting back when he first starts with NCIS. Of course, back then it was known as NIS, Navy Investigating System. Criminal just wasn't mentioned. It was just NIS. And matter of fact, when I was in the Navy, it was known as NIS. And but no, that would be interesting, though, wouldn't it, Dan? They'd have to go back into the 60s, 70s, and 80s to do NCIS Philippines. But that would be an interesting one. Think of all the hey, Zindy, how you doing? Zinda Pop is here. But that would be interesting. Think of all the Filipino actors. That would be hard. You'd have to have that because on base, a lot of the service people for all the military bases were, and I'm talking about the clubs and a lot of the different other things, were Filipinos. And then you had the bar scene off base. So that would be a lot of Filipinos put to work. That would be, and I would find that interesting. But they did. We had, when I was in Subic Bay, they had what they called AFP, Armed Force Police. And hey Beth, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, it's a prequel to the original, Mike. But hey, Rona's here as well. Hello, Rona. But and when I was at the AFP, was Armed Force Police. It was a combination of the Navy and the Marine Corps and whatever other branch was in that area, which usually was just Navy and Marine Corps in Subic Bay. But they were combined, and they wore the same uniform, and they would walk around and check on people, and at night. So that was one of the that was a shore duty job for the Marines and the Navy there. One of the many shore duty jobs. So yeah, it was. I got there must have been a AFP there that looked a lot like me when I was there, because I had people mistake me for AFP when I was not in uniform. So there must have been a guy that looked something like me. Now I had a red goatee back then, and it was a real dark red. And as you've all seen now, my goatee would be white. But damn, we appreciate the raids, buddy. Let me tell you. Now, Mike, the Marines, they don't like admitting this, but they're part of the Navy. The Marines are about 249 years old now, but their paycheck, Department of the United States Navy. All their medical personnel are Navy, including the Marine medic. I found this out when I was in boot camp, and if you ever seen the movie, hang on, Full Metal Jacket, where they're sitting around and they're talking about where they're from and why they joined and all that. Well, we actually did that, and when I was in the Navy, And one of the guys, a guy named Shrump, I want to say Dwight, but I could be wrong about his first name, but his last name was Shrump. And he was sitting there. He said, well, he went down to the Marine Corps and went in to sign up. And he said everything was going great until the recruiter asked him what he wanted to do. And he told him, he said, I want to be a medic. And he said, well, you got to join the Navy. And we all looked at him, what? He says, oh, yeah, I had to join the Navy. He said, I got to go through Navy boot camp. Then I'll go to medical school, medic school, which is about 4 months. After which he'll go to the Marine Corps and go through their training to become a Marine Corps medic. Man, that's a lot of work, but that's what he wanted to do. So, he was committed to it. So he went and joined the Navy, and that's what he was doing. But until then, I did not know a Marine Corps medic was actually a sailor who had to go through boot camp with the Navy, then go to Navy corpsman school, because that's what we called it, was corpsman's on ship, and then go to the Marine Corps training area to become a Marine Corps medic. And he just learned the Marine stuff there. I mean, all the medicine he learned in Corps school. And so I thought that was quite interesting. And then I found out all their doctors, nurses, everybody was Navy. They had none of those. They wouldn't let you join the. I joined the Navy. I joined during Vietnam. I joined in 1972, and I was thinking about Marine Corps. My older brother was Navy. I had a couple guys I knew that were Marines that served in Vietnam. And as a matter of fact, I knew 3 guys that did that. And I had a family friend who was a heavy equipment operator, a Seabee, in other words, in the Navy, who did 1.5 to 2 years in Vietnam. You ever seen the movie Green Beret, where they're the guys out there clearing the brush away from the camp and they get shot at? Well, that's the job this guy did. So whenever, the guy told him he was Navy and Marine in Vietnam, they'd want to give him a hard time till they found out what he did, and they would shut up because they knew he'd been in probably as many firefights that they've been in. So I asked every one of them, how they felt about it. All 3 Marines said the same thing. They were proud they did it, but wouldn't do it again. And the sailor, he said he was proud of it and would do it again. And I got to thinking about it. Do I want to be proud that I did something, but wouldn't want to go do it again? Or do I want to be proud I did something, would gladly do it again, which I would gladly go in the Navy again if I was younger. And then I also got to thinking, like I said, Nam was going on. And I thought, those bamboo trees are not that big. I wasn't as big as I am now, but I was a stocky guy. I thought hiding behind those trees would be kind of tough in a firefight. But I was a real good swimmer. So I figured if the ship got shot out from under me, I could swim. And so, like I said, giving it a lot of thought, I decided to go in the Navy. And I was in the Navy for over 6.5 years active. I enjoyed it. You wanted to join because of their uniform. Well, myself personally, I think the Marine Corps had the sharp uniform in the United States. But what the heck happened here?
What branch did Ed Lippitt serve?
Who?
Ed Lippitt. Remember the pig farmer?
Yeah, I don't know what branch he was in.
I just know that he served, but I think it was in the late 60s. It might have been the very early 70s.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, he I want to say he was in the 60s. I just don't remember what branch of service he was in.
I don't remember if we mentioned it in the Chris live streams.
Yeah. So I just don't know. I know Steve from the Expat Info channel. He was Navy. He was a submariner. But I don't know everybody's what branch everybody was in. I was a ship serviceman. They don't even have that rate anymore. They're now part of the storekeepers. Now I was as a ship serviceman Oh, I had some dangerous jobs. I was a barber. I ran the candy store on ship. I filled the vending machines. I went to the Navy Exchange, or the on ship. We had an exchange as well where you could buy stuff that you wanted. You did not stuff that you needed. I helped them fill that up. I ran the storeroom where I kept track of all the supplies for my division. So when somebody needed more barber supplies or sodas or whatever, they would come to me. I would get the stuff and give it to them, and I'd have the paperwork to show who I gave to, how much I gave to them, the candy, all that stuff. Because when I ran the showrooms, that's all I did. I kept those supplies for my division, and when I worked in the other places, I'd have to request those supplies from the guy whoever was in charge of the storeroom. But yeah, I did that. Then on shore duty, I did 4 different jobs every day. I would start off helping restock the shelves for the Navy Exchange, and base exchange. Then I would go from there, and I would start filling up the vending machines all over the place. The Coke machine, the beer machine, the candy machine, the cigarette machines. I'd fill all those up. And then I'd go from there. I'd go to the gas station, ran the gas station for an hour and a half. And I'd finish my day off at the barber shop. I was at a base of only 110 people. There wasn't very many.
Huh? That's pretty small.
Oh, yeah. It was just, we were in a town of about 500 people. I got there, I want to say on a Monday or a Tuesday. I can't remember exactly which day of the week it was. But by that Friday, there had been a shooting in one bar and a stabbing in another. In this little town, they only had about 4 bars. Needless to say, I didn't go out to the bars very often at first until one of the guys I knew that on base bought one of the bars because he was going to retire there. And that was part of his retirement plan, was to run a bar after he got out. So I started going to his bar. And there was another place that was more of a restaurant. And they didn't serve alcohol, but I went in there mostly to get something to eat and have a good drink or two. Yeah, Mike, we don't know if Ed's still alive because, well, I haven't seen him in any live chats. The only live chat I ever saw Ed the pig farmer in was Chris and Sabu. Yeah, he was a very interesting guy. But I don't know if he's still alive or not. He was getting up there in age at that time.
Yeah, because I remember Chris would always make fun of his age.
Yeah, but he always wanted a hoagie when it came to Sabu. He had to he'd come to Sabu. What was it? Once a month.
Yeah.
And he'd always get a hoagie. He'd always talk about the hoagies, and then we'd talk about the price of the pigs. Like you said, he was a pig farmer. Mike says he was sick a lot. I don't remember that, but I mean, I remember him. He was always an interesting guy. Then you had, I'm trying to think of the other guy. Was it you and him that got into it, Mike? He was from Australia. He went to, I want to say Elo, when he was, can't remember his name. But Makati Maz, last I heard, he was living in Manila in BGC.
Talking about Bobsy Channel.
Yeah, Bobsy Channel.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Makati hasn't posted anything in, I think, I don't know, maybe going in a year.
Okay.
So, I don't know if he's still in Makati or
BGC is where he was living.
Yeah, on BGC.
Well, I'm going to say it. I followed him at first, but he said Bob was rude. But Anyway, I followed him at first, and then all he did there for a while was riding around on his motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what he did towards the end when he bought it. He was just doing bike videos.
I didn't mind him doing that once in a while, but that was pretty much all he was doing. So I quit following because I'm not. I would rather have him go somewhere and show it. I don't mind. Racer's still around? How about Smiley, Mike? Do you still talk to Smiley?
Racer X.
Racer X, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be whenever.
Does he go on who?
Lady E. He'll appear in some of the.
I don't know if he went to. Not the Valdons. The other guy. BJ. Or BKJ. JBK.
JLB.
No, not JLB. No.
Remember, there was like 3, 4 of them.
Yeah, but no. This is JGBK or something like that. He lives down in New York City area. And he does a live stream once in a while. And he was setting himself up to retire to go overseas. And he'd been in the Philippines and did some videos over there too. But let's see if I could. No, I'd have to cancel out, and I don't want to do that.
Yes, some of the followers on Chris will be on Lady E's live streams when she does them. She hasn't done one in a while, but some of the guys that will be over there.
Mike says he sees DeValdon. Where do you see DeValdon at? Like I said, I know he used to go to BJ's. BJ or JGBK. I think it is JG.
Oh, JG's
JG, yeah. JGBK, I think it was. He does live stream, and DeValdon used to go in there on his live stream once in a while. I've been in JG's for a while because he doesn't do them very often anymore. He used to do them all the time. And then there was what's her name? She hadn't done one in a long time either. She lives in. Oh, when I first started following her, she was over in one of the Arab countries, and then she moved back to the Philippines. And she'd been in the Arab countries for a long time. Yeah, Mitch used to always talk about the rocket takeoffs.
Oh yeah, he used to be in. I don't follow him anymore, but the guy that lives in Angeles City, the wife used to own a Sari store.
Yeah.
What's this guy's Philly in the Philippines?
Yeah.
I haven't followed him in 2 years, but the guy, the astronaut, the guy that works for NASA, or
he worked for NASA, I think.
Yeah, he used to be in Philly's live streams.
Okay. Now, when was the last time you talked to Smiley there, Mike? How's she doing? I know you used to talk to her quite a bit. See, Smiley lives in. She's Filipina, but she lives in England.
Yeah, because I remember the time difference. It was like super late at night when Chris would do the streams. When it was just evening over here.
Yeah, it was always in the evening over here. And Mike says DeVal and Mitch both follow Philly. I did not know that. I haven't followed Philly, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in maybe 2 years.
Well, Mike, next time you talk to Smiley, tell her hi for me.
Yeah. She's a good individual.
Yeah, she was interesting. Racer X and her used to go back and forth, and I mean it was in fun. I mean they did not hate each other, but
yeah.
At least that's the way I took it. I thought, he was like flirting with her or whatever. And but yeah, it was okay. So Philly's on now. All right. But like I said, I did not know that DeVal followed. Like I said, he followed JG. I know that because I've seen him in JG's live streams. I haven't been on JG's live stream for a while, but I used to see him in there when I was going in. JG is an entertaining guy. He's kind of as the comedian Fluffy would say, he's kind of a fluffy guy like myself. But yeah, I do miss Chris's live streams. He'd walk around Cebu and you could see what was going on. And oh, my bed looks like a mess. Let me move that. Don't have it made up. I'm getting ready to go to bed here in a few minutes. I laid down earlier. I did not sleep well last night. I just had made it back up.
Yeah, that's what got me interested in the Chris Cebu's walking videos. Even though it's the same places, it's still interesting.
Oh, well, I started following Chris before he ever did the walking videos. And he's the first live streamer I ever watched. Okay.
Yeah, same here.
I started following Chris, and him and I think she went by Unicorn. They did some eating videos and the snacks and stuff like that. And they did a few others, and I went back and as I did back in those days, I'd go back and if I found somebody I found interesting, I would go back and watch all their videos till I caught up. And just about the time I caught up with him, that's when he started doing the walking videos. And so I was watching those. I thought, well, I'll give it a try. I like the guy. Let's see what it's like. And the more I watched, the more I enjoyed it. And like he said, now he would try to walk in maybe a slightly different area, and sometimes it worked, but most of the time it didn't. He had to pretty much stay in the same area most of the time. But it was still interesting. And that's when I started using the name Lazy Larry, was when I followed Chris. Yep. When I first started following him, I went by Larry Lee. Yeah, she's in the university now. She has been for a while. She may be close to done.
Yeah, the Unicorn, she was, about 18 when he last...
Around 17, yeah.
17, 18 when he last started doing his videos.
Yeah, she was around 17. I don't think she started university yet.
No, not yet.
I think she was maybe a senior in high school. But so like I said, I changed from Larry Lee to Lazy Larry because there was a Larry G, Larry B, myself. Hey, Charmaine, how you doing? Larry Lee. And there was another Larry. I think he's like Larry Outdoors or something. And so I thought, well, if he's going to ask one of us a question, if you're not paying close attention, he says B, and I might say me, Larry Lee. Yeah. So I changed my name to Lazy Larry and dropped the Lee. And then I started doing, I did a video on explaining why I was going by Lazy Larry. And then I also talked about how I got that nickname back in high school. And a lot of the guys were telling me that they had a hard time finding me. And so I typed in Lazy Larry, and there was a whole bunch of cartoons after I got some character named Lazy Larry. And I went through 2, 3, maybe 4 pages of these cartoons before I ever got to me. So, it was really difficult to find me. And so I decided, well, let's just add the last name Lee and see what happens. So I changed it to Lazy Larry Lee. And I'm the first thing that pops up. So that's how I went from Larry Lee to Lazy Larry Lee on my YouTube channel, Because originally, like I said, even under Lazy Larry, I had the pictures up of my surgery where I had that thing cut out of my back. There was no video of it, just pictures. And that's all I had up. And there was people that commented on that. So, but you had to have a channel. You had to, back then, you didn't have to produce anything, but you had to have a channel if you wanted to make comments, especially in live streams and stuff. So, like I said, I started off as just with my own name, Larry Lee, and then progressed as I just told you. And that's how and why, but I always thought it was kind of hilarious going by Lazy Larry. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man? And Tim says, hi there, Jerry.
Hey, Tim.
But I always thought it was kind of hilarious going by Lazy Larry because of when I got the nickname, I was in high school and I was working somewhere around 30 hours a week going to school full time. Really lazy, wasn't I?
That's a lot of hours. I was only allowed 18 to 20.
Well, I was scheduled around 24, but I always worked more because somebody would call off and I'd be the first one they call.
Yeah, we were available.
If my dad answered the phone, I was available. Okay. That's simple. I was available if my father answered the phone. The summer between my junior and senior year, I had 1 day off that whole summer. That was it. That's because I refused to go into work. I made some plans and I decided I wasn't breaking them. But and I got the nickname Lazy my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
But what can I say? And I never used that name again until I used it for the channel.
A few decades later.
Yeah, quite a few decades later. About 4. No, closer to 5. Almost 5 decades later. Over 4 decades.
I went into dormancy.
Yeah. But like I said, when I decided to change the name, I thought, well, I'll go by that. It never did bother me. And it keeps my channel still as LL. And so that's why I did it. And I could have came up with something else. Like a Lunatic Larry or something like that.
No, doesn't have the same ring.
No, I think I lucked out on Lazy Larry. I think that really did hit well for me.
Oh,
yeah, I understand. Mike says try having the last name Gunn and being in the Army. Now, Mike, I feel for you, but I served with a guy in the Navy. His last name was Ship, SHIPP. I also served with a guy. Yeah, lovely, Larry. That would have been a lie, though. Lazy being a lie, too, but a little more obvious if you say lovely. But I also served with a guy in the Navy whose last name was Officer, and he was a petty officer, so it was petty officer.
Mm-hmm.
I also served with a guy, his last name was Seaman, so it was Seaman, until he changed rates and became Fireman Seaman, or was it Repair Seaman? Repairman Seaman. They said his dad always got a kick out of being the only seaman in the Army. Private seaman, corporal seaman. But yeah, I also knew a guy in the Navy that's last name was Hitch. I don't know if you guys know, but a hitch is a term that you sign up for. Is your hitch when you sign up for? How long is your hitch? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That's what you sign your paper to serve. That's considered a hitch. And this guy's last name was Hitch. There was even a cartoon back in those days known as Half Hitch about the Navy. He was a short sailor. That was it. And they called it, I don't know if Hitch was his last name, but the cartoon was called Half Hitch. So, yeah, you get in the military, you see there's some people with some unique names that really go with what they're doing. Like Mike's last name Gunn, Army. Perfect name.
Yeah.
Sergeant Gunn. Petty officer. Lucky his name was Pre-Seaman. All right, Mike. But I can't remember if he spelled it that way or if it was spelled a little different, but it was pronounced Seaman. I do remember that. I'd have to look at one of my cruise books because he'd be in that. But yeah, like I said, I actually worked with this guy. He was a fellowship serviceman until he switched over to a repairman rate, and so yeah, it was able to switch over. They needed somebody, and we had an extra body, and he was able to switch. Now he was able to switch because he hadn't gone to school and he hadn't made petty officer yet. Now, if you go to school, which is what I did, I went to barber school. You can't change rates till you make an E5. I have a buddy who did a career in the Navy. He did over 20 years and never made it above E4. He was a ship serviceman like I was. We served together. And he kept P&A in the test for E5. P&A means pass but not advance. In the Navy, everybody that's in your rate, in other words, every E4 that was a ship serviceman, no matter where they were stationed at, took the same test to make E5 for however number of slots were available. You were competing against each other. So let's say 100 slots open, and there's 5,000 trying for it. Well, your odds are slim. There might not even be 100 open. I mean, there might have been, I don't know. There was pretty well closed up. That's why the ship serviceman rate no longer exists. The ship servicemen always had more people, and the storekeepers were always short of people. Now, the jobs were similar. We both kept supplies. Now, the storekeepers kept supplies for the ship. We kept supplies for the people, the sailors themselves. So our jobs were similar.
I'm going to sign off, Larry.
Wait a minute. Let me read you this before we go. Mike, married to a beautiful woman, said, my first son, the hospital put BB gun on his band, and my name was Pop Gun. That's pretty good there, Mike. All right, hey, Jerry, thanks for coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer I'll go. I'll go a little longer. I don't know how much.
My friend started messaging me already, so this.
Yeah, you got to go talk to her. I understand. She's much more important than I am. I agree with you.
And she's one of the ones that I took to.
Jerry, she's still a personal friend. You and I are acquaintances through the YouTube. There's a difference.
Yeah, well, I met her on Facebook first, and then not until 2 years later when
you have met her face to face.
Yes,
you have spent time with her. You and I have spent time together on my live stream. We also watch each other's videos, so we know each other, but not like you know her.
Yeah, I've seen her three occasions.
Yeah, the friends that you spend time with and you know you get along with in person, those friends are more important than the ones like myself, in my opinion. Now, once you get to know the other people, it might not be, but as far as I'm concerned, she takes precedent over me. Like I said, I'm going to tell you the truth. My friends take precedence over you guys, the ones I know that I spend time with. But my friends also know that I do a live stream every Saturday, so they leave me alone. They know this is my one foot. Because, like I said, I no longer. Hey, all right, Mike, you take care. Because they know I no longer go to bars. I no longer really go out to movies or anything. This is my entertainment, and they know that. And my own family knows it, because I don't hide anything from anybody. They all know I want to move to the Philippines. So, like I said, I don't hide anything from anybody that I know.
Yeah.
Now, people I don't know that well, I don't tell them that. But my family, and my close friends, they all know. I've told them all. And some of them say go for it, and some of them are a little hesitant. Like, I had one friend say, well, maybe I'll come over and visit because they work. They thought maybe they might come over and visit on their vacation during the winter, get away from the winter. I said, that's fine. Come on over. But they were a little more hesitant at first, and they're becoming a little more open to it now.
Yeah.
But Like, because I think they know that they're not going to change my mind. If anything changes my mind, it's going to be me because of my situation.
Yeah.
Right now, the situation I'm in, I'm not talking about my mom. I'm talking about if I was able to do it right now, with everything being equal, that I got the money to go and all that. My mom's passed. I'm going. It's that simple. But right now, I still got to wait for my mom to pass. I still got to save the money. So by that time, if everything's still like this, I'm gone. That's all there is to it. Now, how long I stay, that will depend on how much I like it. But you never know how much you're going to like it till you get there. Because when you go visit, it's a brand new. Even if you've been there before, it's still a new experience. It's not like you've lived there. It's vacation.
Yeah.
Until you've been there for a while, it's vacation. Once you've been there for a while, now you look at it. Hey, this is where I'm living. How do I like it? Because I know when I first get there, that first month, maybe 2 months, I'm going to just be loving everything, I think. It's like when I moved down here. I just loved everything about it. Now I've been down here for a while. I still like it, but it's not got that same newness, not that same, oh God, I just love everything about it. That's kind of gone away, but I still like it. And that's what's going to have to happen when I move to the Philippines. I got to get over that first, I'm in love with everything. And now look at it and say, all right, do I really like it? Because that's what you got to decide. And if I don't, I'll go somewhere else, but maybe not, because I'm going to Cebu first. So maybe I'll go to Iloilo. But that you got to work those things out. And it just that's the way things are. I got to look at things and decide how I want to handle it. And like I said, I'm going in, but I do want a good hospital around me. That's why I'm looking at places like Cebu, maybe Cavite, somewhere close to Manila, Iloilo, Ormoc, or Taglaban in Leyte. Taglaban has, I guess, supposed to have a decent hospital. They got the immigration there. You can go to and renew everything. So
yeah,
all those things have to be taken into consideration because I am not a country boy. No.
You're not into the province.
No. I can handle the province if it's only like 10 minutes out from the city. I can handle that. I mean, I don't have to live right in the middle of the city. I got to be close to one. And I don't mean an hour away. I got to be close. So anytime I want, I can just say, hey, I'm going in town and just run in for an hour and turn around, run back and think nothing of it. If you're an hour away, you're not doing that.
Nope.
And now if you're 10, 15 minutes away, you'll do it. It's like Valencia from Dumaguete. That might be a little farther than I'd want, but you can live in between. So you can run to Valencia or you can run to the city. So I wouldn't have to actually live in Dumaguete, but Dumaguete would be a place I'd consider because of all the expat stuff that's there. They got the teaching hospital in Silvan, and then they got the ACE hospital, which is supposed to be decent there as well. So all these places are places I'm considering. Davao, you take Davao in Mindanao, they got the 911 system. And they probably have a good hospital. So there's another area I would think about, although they get a lot of earthquakes. That's a drawback.
Yeah.
So all that has to be taken into consideration. That's another reason why I'm not looking for a girlfriend before I go, because she's not going to decide where I live. Once I know where I'm living, if I meet the right woman, then that's different. But she knows where I'm living. This is where I'm staying. Like I said, I don't mind if I meet the right woman and I actually don't mind the area I'm living in, letting her keep me there. But if I hate the area, then I don't want to stay there.
Oh.
So that's why I'm, like I said, it's just something I have to take in consideration and look at and deal with it as it comes, But
All right, these hands are waiting for me to get out of the way. So they're waiting.
All right, man.
Yeah, they want to go inside. They want to come back in. I got those 3 right here.
So, hey, you enjoy yourself, man. Take care. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
I will see you.
All
Bye,
right,
everyone.
All right. Have
fun.
Good
night.
Ed, how you doing? Yeah, that's true, Jerry. But I mean, Ed. But the thing is, you can go by reputation. Like I said, there's certain hospitals that you talk to the expats, you look at, they're rated, So you look at their rating. Are they how are they rated compared to other places? No hospital, I don't think, is perfect. All of them have certain things that are not all of them. Some places just aren't worth anything really. And we have that here in the States too. Let's be honest about it. There's hospitals here in the States that just all they're going to do is triage you and send you somewhere else for real treatment. And some areas don't even have hospitals anymore. So, you're facing the same thing. But like I said, what you're trying to do is cut that odds down by being proactive and checking. I know there's supposed to be some decent hospitals in Cebu. Like I said, I know about Dumaguetes. Elo is good enough size that I've heard they got an okay hospital. Davao has a 911 system. That's a plus. Believe me, that's a plus. From what I've seen of Davao and Elo, the streets are in pretty good shape in both places compared to a lot of other places. Elo is very walking friendly and bicycle friendly. Like I said, they got good roads, a lot better roads than Cebu, but Cebu's a lot bigger and probably have a better hospital. Also, so like I said, all that's going to come into play, and I'm going to start off in Cebu. If I like it at all, I'll probably sign a longer term rent agreement somewhere. And let's say I like it enough to do that, but I'm not crazy about living there long term. I'll use that as a home base, and I'll check out these other places. But if I can't stand it, then I'm going to be there for a month or two. And if I decide I can't stand the place for whatever reason, smog, cost of living, all those things that come into play. Like I said, Ed, there is a listing out there that checks hospitals against each other throughout the world. And like I said, St. Luke's in Manila is considered a world-class hospital. Now there's another one or two supposed to be really good. Most of those are in the Manila area. That's why I would consider Cavite. It's close to Manila. But I'm not sure I want to live actually in Manila because of the smog and everything. But yeah, that's like I said, that's stuff you have to check out. Most of the places, and let's be honest about it, if I was having certain kind of problems, I live in Albany, New York. This is not the place to have some of those problems. They're going to transfer you to like Cleveland Hospital, maybe the Mayo Clinic. I mean, there's not every hospital in the United States is that great. Now, there are some damn good doctors everywhere, and there are some damn lousy doctors everywhere in the States, too. It's just like anywhere else. When I lived up around Rochester, Batavia, and you're fooling yourself there. Medicine was invented long before Philly was ever found. before the United States was ever found. Now, things improved since they were originally found, medication and procedures, but medicine's been around a very long time. But like I said, though, when I lived up there, I lived outside of a town called Batavia. Now, Batavia was okay for minor stuff, but I would not want anything major done at Batavia. I don't know about that. I think Cleveland Clinic has got a great hospital. So does the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Massachusetts. Or is that Minnesota? I think it's Massachusetts. Those are world-class hospitals as well. But like I said, I mean, I'm not going to live in Philly. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to even live close to Philly. I don't want to be anywhere cold there, Ed. So Philly's out. Besides, once I quit working, I don't think I can afford Philly. I mean, right now I do quite well for myself, but that's only because I'm still working and I got my Social Security coming in. Now, if I did that, I could still make it here where I'm at if I was working without my Social Security. But I wouldn't be doing anywhere near as well as I'm doing. Once I get all my bills paid off, which will be by the end of the year, probably November, first part of November. If everything goes right, I'll have everything but my car paid off. Then I can start saving money for my retirement to move to the Philippines. That's why I'm saying about 2 more years. I can do it before that, but I'd like to have a bigger nest egg so I can move around if I need to and have the money to self-insure. Because that's what I'll probably do. I'll probably self-insure. So that's my plan. That's my goal. I'm not going to say how much money I'll plan on having. That's nobody's business but mine. I'm not going to say how much I have to spend once I get there. That's nobody's business but mine. But now, my plan is to save money for a couple of years and prepare myself to move. Right now, if I get over there and like it within a couple of months, I plan on going for some kind of SSRV. And I'm not saying they don't have good hospitals. But like I said, Cleveland Clinic is an excellent hospital, world rated. So is the Mayo Clinic. They're both world rated. But like I said, though, I have no desire to live in either one of those places either. Like I said, the weather is going to play a big role in where I live. I want nothing to do with cold, ice, and snow. You can keep all that once I retire. I'm dealing with it now because I'm still working. I grew up with it. That don't mean I want it for the rest of my life. Forget that noise. So that's how it's going. Like I said, we got the Albany Medical Center. They got they're a teaching hospital as well. There's a school of medicine right next to them. We got the VA here in Albany, but that don't make them world class. That just means they're good. That if I was going to stay, and I was going to stay in a cold area, this is an area I would think about. I'd have to check on that, but like I said, they're not. It doesn't matter to me who's the world leader because I'm not going to live next to it. Even the St. Luke and Manila, I'm not living that close to it. It's just not worth it for me because it's I don't want to live in cold area, and Manila, I don't want to live in something that expensive and that much smog, and so And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it doesn't matter to me, is what I'm saying. You can be completely correct. I don't know. And but it doesn't matter because, like I said, I'm not living there. Hey, Eileen, how you doing? Is it Eileen or Aileen? But welcome. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming. But yeah, it's like I said, I want to live close to a good hospital. I didn't say the best. I just want to live close to a good one. Because, like I said, I don't think I can afford to live next to the best hospitals because they're going to be in the much larger cities like Manila, Philly, Cleveland. They're going to be, in areas I don't want to live. I just want a good one that can get me stabilized and, if necessary, transfer me to the better ones. And I don't trust all the small ones for that reason. I don't think all of them can do it. So I want one that's considered a decent hospital by world standards, not the Philippine standards, world standards. And that's where I want to end up at. It's that simple. Like I said, like I said, everybody has what they consider a make or break for where they want to live, whether it be the cost of living, medical care, the neighbors. Neighbors play a very important part in some things. Where your family's at plays an important part for some people. With me wanting to move to the Philippines, that's not going to be me. I am waiting till my mother passes away, so family does matter. Just I can't wait for everybody. But I will wait for my mother. I'm now, Ed. A lot of these doctors are trained in the same medical treatments that our doctors here in the States are. So now, when you're talking about Chinese medicine, you're right, but that's not a normal doctor. There's a difference. I have a friend whose mother was the doctor that type that you're talking about with Asian medicine, but not the kind that we're talking about, which would be a hospital type doctor. Those are two different types of medicine, and so you got to understand that, Ed. There's places in the world that are rated better than the United States for medicine. I'm not saying the Philippines is. I'm just saying there are places. And you can fact check me on that. And but yeah, there are some very good hospitals and a very good Western style medicine in the Asian countries. Like I said, the Asian medicine that you're talking about, yeah, that's totally different than what we're talking about. At least what I'm talking about. When I talk about the hospitals, I'm talking about the ones that use Western style medicine, Western style hospitals, and they have those in the Philippines. St. Luke's a great one in Manila. There's a couple others up there, and like I said, you got a couple of those in Cebu too. So like I said, fact check me if you like, but you'll find out I'm right. Now, I'm not saying Cebu is world class, the one in Cebu, but the one in Manila, St. Luke's is. I have no desire to go to Florida there, and it's not cheap. Now, you don't have a lot of they won't tax your income, your Social Security. But if you want to live where you got a decent hospital, you got to live in the bigger cities. Like I said, the smaller cities don't have them. And if you live in the bigger cities, it's not cheap. Florida is not a cheap place to live. I have a couple cousins that live. I got a cousin and her husband and daughter, and I got a nephew with his wife down in Florida. I know what I speak. It's not cheap down there. My cousin, her husband was an oral surgeon. They live in Naples. And my nephew is a lawyer. Well, was a lawyer. He's retired. He's taking a retirement. He's still in his 50s, but he retired. And so they both made very good money. Had very expensive houses that they sold and was able to buy places down there. So, yeah, it's a very nice place as far as weather goes. But I'm not going to live the lifestyle I want living down there. I go down there and find a place to live, but I'm not going to do anything but stay home and maybe go to the beach, and that's it. I like the beach, but not every day. I like being able to go out and do things, and I wouldn't be able to do that in Florida. Not with what the money I have coming in. And like I said, when I retire, I don't want to work. I've been working for well over 50 years. I've been working well over 50 years. And I'm tired of it. I'm still doing it because I need to. And I'll do it as long as I need to. But I want to be able to quit working. Now, I could find some cheap, rundown town to live in, either in the Midwest or down south. But what kind of life am I going to have? The hospitals around me won't be very good. The neighborhoods I'll be living in are going to be run down or crime ridden. That's not the lifestyle I want. Now, if I was going to retire and stay, I'd probably stay here where I'm at and get government assistance, which would tell me, well, you can't have more money than this coming in, and you can't have more money than that in the bank. So they're going to tell me exactly what I can do and what I can't do, and I don't want that either. That's no kind of life for me. I've been a footloose and fancy free kind of person most of my life. I prefer that. Now, I'm going to be limited to what I have coming in, but I don't want the government to tell me I can't go out and think more if I want to. I don't plan on it, but I don't want to be told I can't. I don't want to be told how much money I can have in the bank. I went and applied for one of these places where you had to be, I think it was only 50, it might have been 55. And they were advertising, well, this is the price that it would cost you for a studio. Oh, that's pretty good. I can live in a studio. I went there and looked. Yeah, it was a little small, but it was for that price. It would be all right. I'd do that. And I said, well, how much do you make? Well, you had to be this old. Well, yeah, but that also depends on how much money you make. Well, you make this much money. Well, you got to pay this much more. And you can't. And they wanted to know how much money I had in the bank, how much I had coming in. It's like, people, slow your roll. I don't want to deal with that. I don't think it's any of your bloody business. You tell me if you're over, what was either 50 or 55, I can't remember. Been quite a while back. I want to say 50, but it could have been 55. One of these senior communities, unless you're disabled. And it was like 300, I think, for a studio. And so, yeah, it wasn't cheap, but I was, in Rochester, that wasn't real expensive. And it was like, well, no, you're going to pay this much if you got that much coming in. I could rent an apartment, a one-bedroom apartment, for what they wanted to charge me. And the landlord wouldn't care how much money I had coming in as long as he got paid every month. It's like, no, you want to, they want to know what my bank account is, how much money I got in it. And like, no, thank you. I don't need this. I can afford to live where I'm living. I was just trying to think of a way to save myself some money, and this is not worth it to me. I wouldn't have saved but maybe $10. Like I said, I was living in a one-bedroom apartment. I'd been saving maybe $10, $20 a month, if that, because I didn't know whether or not utilities were included. because I didn't ask. But it wasn't worth giving them all that information and all that control over what I could do. It just wasn't worth it, not to me. Now, like I said, it's different if you're disabled and can't work and you gotta have help. But like I said, I wasn't drawing Social Security. I was still working. I could do it on my own. And if I decided I couldn't leave the United States for whatever reason, I guess I'd have to give them that kind of control to get the help I would need. Because, as you know and I know, it's very expensive to live here in the United States, especially if you're not got a steady income. I have an income that I can live on, but I'd have to go, like I said, what kind of neighborhood, what kind of city. I mean, and be out in the middle of nowhere, no really medical facilities anywhere near you. Run downtown if you can find a place to live. Crime-ridden, probably, or very poor at least. So no, not going to happen. I want safe and stable, and I can get that by moving out of the country. You can't necessarily get that here. If I wanted to live with somebody else, I'm talking about as a platonic roommate, I could probably do it in a better place. But do I want to do that? I mean, I'm a single man. Do I want to, I could move back and probably move in with one of my sisters. Ain't going to happen, boys and girls. No. I don't even want to live with one of my cousins who I get along great with. We're best of friends, but I don't want to live with somebody. Unless it's my wife or girlfriend, I don't want to live with anybody. I mean, because you got to take that person's feelings and everything else into account to decide what you like. All right, let's say I'm living with my sisters. Let's say I live with my oldest sister. I'll come in at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I got to be real careful. I'm waking her up because she's been in bed probably since about 9. She doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke, and she wouldn't want me bringing a woman home. Same thing with my other sisters. My cousin wouldn't care, but like I said, no. I don't want to give anybody that. Like I said, if I'm married or have a girlfriend living with her, that's different. She has the right to control what I say and do or how I act because I gave her that right. Just like I have a right to say, hey, look, you're doing something I don't like. Please try to stop it. I have that right if we're married or living together. I don't want to give that to somebody that's just a relative or just a good friend. I don't want to give that right to somebody. So I'm probably off the topic. Probably a lot of people have left. And but yeah, like I said, that's the reason why a lot of areas in the United States are just completely out of it. If I could afford it, San Diego, California would be great. I loved San Diego when I was out there. But who can afford California, especially in today's society? I mean, you have to live the way I want to live. If I was going to live in Florida or California or Texas, even, I'd have to have a lot more money coming in than what I could probably do Florida with what I got coming in right now. That's working in my Social Security. I couldn't do California. Couldn't do it. I'd have to make a lot more money, or I'd be home all the time. And that's not the way I want to live. And like I said, Florida, I'd have to live in an area was not very populated, so that means medical care would not be very good, probably a long distance away. And so anything you wanted to do, you'd have to drive I'm with the Philippines. I'm not going to have a car. At least not at first. I don't think I'll ever have a car in the Philippines. Maybe I'll get a bike. I don't plan on ever having a car in the Philippines. I want to live in an area large enough that I can get around without my own personal vehicle if I can. And if I have to have a personal vehicle, then I want a bike. Because it's cheaper to operate. And let's be honest about it, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to save myself money, not cost myself money. It's farther away than what you want if you're having heart trouble. Believe me, Jerry, there's areas that's a lot farther away to a good hospital, a lot of things. Now, you're not far from the beach almost anywhere in the Florida, but there's no way I'm living in Florida. It's just not going to happen. No. Just can't. No, it will not and cannot happen as far as I'm concerned. And when it comes to this decision, it's mine. I'm the one that makes that decision. So if I say no, it's no. Like I said, if worse comes to worse, I'll stay here in this area and apply for government assistance. But I'm going to have to be in bad shape to do that. As long as I'm healthy enough, I'm out of here. Because I don't want them to control my money. Same thing if you go to a nursing home, they control how much money you can have in the bank. They want to know, if they're helping you. If they're not helping you, then if you're paying everything out of your own pocket, it doesn't matter. But as poor as I am here in the States, now I won't be poor in the Philippines, but here in the States, I would probably have to have help with bills, which is what, we have here in the States. Hey, Megan, how you doing? But they control it. I mean, I know this because of my mother. If she has too much money, the bank at a certain time of the month, they want to jack her up for it. So you got to pay attention and make sure she doesn't, buy her stuff that she needs and all this, so she doesn't have too much money, because they will go after it. And so, like I said, I don't want to have that problem here, when I decide to retire. And that's why I said, that's why I've looked at it. And like I said, there's places cheaper than the Philippines, but like Thailand is not very expensive. But they kind of want to know about your money situation there more than the Philippines. And right now, though, you can go there and get a 60-day visa just by showing up from the United States, which makes it nice. But it's harder to get a permanent visa. You have to leave more often. And English is not as well spoken. You can go to Chiang Mai, which is in northern Thailand. Bangkok in southern Thailand, and you'll find a lot of people that speak English. Chiang Mai would probably be more affordable than Bangkok. But I don't know. I just prefer the Philippines over Thailand. Like I said, you can go to Vietnam. It's cheaper. But there again, you have to leave a little more often. A little harder to get your permanent. I don't know if you can get a permanent visa. You can't do that if you're in a nursing home, because they're going to check that shoebox probably. And it's one thing if you got your own private house. But now like I said, I just want to prepare myself to go. Like I said, I plan on going to Cebu first, check it out. Although I do want to spend some time in Manila area. There's some things up there I'd like to see, like the American Cemetery from World War II. Has a lot of Americans and Filipinos that fought in World War II buried there. I'd like to see that. I've seen videos on it. I'd like to see that Venice Mall they have there. They got the canal that you can take a gondola around, and that would be really interesting to see. Mall of Asia, probably, just because how famous it is. But if I could only see one, I would take the Venice Mall first. So like I said, I could spend a week to a month in the Philippines, in Manila, and enjoy it. I don't think I could live there. I know I couldn't live in BGC or Makati because that'd be out of my price range. Quezon, maybe, might be able to afford that. But like I said, then you got all that smog, all that pollution. I don't know if I want to deal with that. But there again, like I said, they got some great hospitals there in Manila. So there's a give and take right there. So like I said, the best hospitals in the Philippines are probably right there in Manila. St. Luke is probably the best one. But like I said, it's give and take. It's not what I want. It may be what I do. Like I said, once I get there, I gotta decide what area I like best. And maybe up there would be the area I like best. I doubt it, but you never know. Like I said, I am interested in checking out a couple other places. If Cebu doesn't thrill me after a couple months, if I find myself a little disappointed, I know I won't the first month or so, which is fine. Like I said, I highly expect to be completely infatuated with the place for the first couple of months. And then it's to be like, all right, how do I feel now? You know, am I still infatuated with this place? Do I still really like it? If I do, I'm not really going to look. I'll just go to the other places just to visit some of the areas I've seen. Like you take Iloilo, they got what they call the Riverwalk. It's got one of the cleanest rivers in the Philippines. The mayor of that area years ago decided he was going to clean the place up, and they spent a lot of money cleaning the river and getting everything, situated out. And they've been rated as one of the best reservation places, where they restored it back to health in Southeast Asia, not just the Philippines. They really did a really good job on it. And they really built it up. Like I said, it's a friendly walking or bicycle area. The roads are in real good shape. I used to follow a vlogger there called Cheeto Tim. He no longer vlogs. I think Bopsy might be in Iloilo too. But so that's an area I would like to see. Davao I'd like to see. But I would go to and that's because there's Danny from Road to the Philippines. He doesn't live too far from Davao. Jamie doesn't live too far from Danny. Jamie Cowan is off the cuff adventures with Jamie. He's from Canada, but he spends about 6 months out of the year in the Philippines. Just talking about Ed Lippert. Did he pass away? Jerry was just asking about him, and Mike hadn't heard either. But I'm sorry to hear that because I always liked Ed. Yeah, I know you're talking about Ed Lippert, the pig farmer. Sorry to hear he passed away. Yeah, rest in peace. Well, anyway, like I said, those are my goals. like I said, I won't go into the exact amount of money that I want to save or how much money I want to keep in an emergency fund. That's nobody's business but mine. I won't even probably share all that information with my girlfriend. Maybe if I ever get married, I might share it with her, but not just when we're dating. That's nobody's. Like I said, that's not her family's business. Because I'm just dating someone. I'm not there to support the family. Support her, maybe, but yeah. Well, I don't think that would be very safe there, Ed. Now, I wouldn't mind having a hiding place, but I prefer to have it in the bank as much of it as I can. I do plan on having a certain amount on or hidden somewhere that I can get to once I get there. So if something would interrupt my money flow, I can survive a month or two to pay my bills, or at least a month. Like I said, maybe 2 months worth of rent and groceries and utilities. That may mean I can't do anything else for that month or two, but I can at least survive. And like I was telling Steve in the Expat Info channel, I was telling it, and I don't think I did it today in his live stream, but on one of his videos, I commented that I plan on going over there and starting off with a lower budget. When I say budget, I'm talking about my cost of living, my rent, my utilities, my groceries, that kind of stuff. And if I need to, I can always raise it. Now, but I'd rather start off lower. That a lot of how low I start is going to depend on how much my rent is. Let's be honest about it, because the rent, your utilities are probably going to be the two of the biggest costs, with food being the third biggest cost. So those three things, because you can do if you need to, you can get by without internet. If you really need to, you can get by without that. I would not want to do it for very long, but I can get by without it until I really decide, unless it's included in my rent. Because I don't plan on getting it right away, because a lot of those places you have to sign a long-term, like a year or two contract. Until I know where I'm living, I don't want to sign that contract. So if it's included in my rent, I'll gladly pay a little extra for it. Not a lot extra, but I'll pay a little extra so I don't have to sign that contract. So yeah, it's like I said, I plan on starting off on a lower budget. Now, not low like Daryl's from an expensive expat or something. I can't remember what he calls itself, but it's like not expensive, and like it's not expensive. His household budget, counting his rent, his utilities, and his food, and his internet, is like $600 a month. Now, anything over that, he has to pay more, but that's what his household budget is. And some people say, well, you can't do that because they want to say, well, what about your travel? We're not talking about his travel. That's what it cost him to live. Anything over that, he has to, it's more money. But he said he can live there on that if he didn't want to do anything else. Now, so you can do it, he says, but do you want, it's up to you if you want to. But you can do, and he shows you how he does it. He found a place that was all run down. He got a hold of the owners, made a 5-year contract with them. He pays like $35 a month for a house. And he took money and, he told you how much he spent to fix it up the way he wanted. Now, that wasn't part of his $600 a month budget, but he tells you about how it shows it as it was being done. It's a very nice place. And so now for 5 years, and now he's been there close to a year, I think. I don't think he's been there quite a year. But now he's got his place set up the way he wants. His rent's still $35 a month, guaranteed for 5 years. And, he says, well, now I spent, what it was, $1,000, maybe $2,000 to fix it up the way he wanted. And I mean, that's counting labor, parts, everything. And he had a regular kitchen installed with a stove and refrigerator, and he had a window taken out and turned into a French door. Like I said, he had a lot of work done for that amount of money. And then he also had a outside dirty kitchen made up, bar out there. He did quite a bit of work, and it was only a couple $1,000 counting labor. But he's got that place for 5 years at $35 a month, and you spread that out, that money that he spent over it out, he's still not paying very much money in rent per month if you spread it out that way. And then he's got his utilities, and he doesn't use a lot of air conditioning, but he does use air conditioning occasionally. And he talks all about that. He has a lot more than that coming in, and I mean a lot more than 600. I think it's under 2,000, but it's close to it. So he's got about $1,000 or 1,200 more a month coming in over what his monthly bill is. So he can save money. He can make trips. But he's saying if all you got is a few $100s, if you get there and look around, you can find a place. Now, you're not going to maybe live the life that these other vloggers that are going all over. You're not going to be doing that. But he says, this is what it cost me to live here. Now I have, and he tells you he has more money than that. So he does travel, but his living expenses for staying where he's at, counting his utilities, going and getting his food, buying his food, and fixing it himself, that's what he spends per month. Now, I would not live the way he's living. I like the place he's got, but he's a little farther out than I would want. But everything else he's doing, I could see doing. He's not too far from Angeles City, I think, if I remember right, but a little farther than I'd want to be. But that's a good thing that you're out there, Ed. You don't have to worry about that anymore. But so, like I said, though, it's something that to think about. Like I said, if you ever watch Steve, like I said, from the Expat Info channel, he's paying, I think it's $80 a month for his place, and he's fixed it up. He spent money on it, fixing it up too. He just showed 4 apartments that are being built. The one's already being guys already paid rent for one. I don't know if he's paying rent as it's being built or just already signed a lease for it when it's done. They're $90 a month. They're small 1-bedroom apartments. So I hope he shows them again once they're finished. They said the bedrooms are large enough for a queen size bed. The living room is big enough that you could put a couch or a love seat in there, along with a dining room table, like a 2 or 4 person dining room table, and a TV and stuff. So they're not real big, but it's only $90 a month. And you get your utilities on top of that. And he lives in Tres Martires, which is in Cavite province. But it's a city. He says the hospital in the area. He says it's a decent hospital. He really likes his doctor. So, these are the things you got to look for. That's why you follow other vloggers to see what they think about their area they're in. I don't know if you remember Eddie. Trying to remember Eddie's last name. His wife's name is Joyce. They're from. She's from Cavite area. They live in New Mexico, and so he goes back there, and like I said, these are areas that I'm going to check out or follow until I till I go. And like I said, right now, Cebu's where I'm going first. And if I change my mind, it'll probably be up around Manila somewhere. And that would be just to go check that area out. Maybe if I decide, let's go ahead and get the SSRV, get that started. You're spending almost $3,000 to do that, and that's $1,500 in the bank. That is your money, when you can't take it out as long as you're going to live under the SRV, but it's your money. So if you ever decide to leave, you can take that money and go with it and take it, but your SRV is over with. And the $1,400 or so is the application fee. And I guess you can be turned down if they think you don't qualify, and you're out that money. The $1,500 is still yours. But if you get the SSRV, I'm talking about the military SSRV. After that, it's $10 a year, so it's like $20 every 2 years. I won't call it quite the world tour. I will call it the Philippine tour. I don't know if I don't know if I'll go to any of the other Asian countries. I might, but I can't say that's what I'm going to do. Not because I wouldn't enjoy it, because I would, but I don't know if I will have the money to do what I want to do and go visit these places. And like I said, when it comes to Social Security, I'm in what they call the average range, which if you listen to Steve, that's the low end of the sweet spot budget. But Steve, I think he has a budget. He looks at the budget different than I do, because Steve wants to eat nothing but American food. That's it. He doesn't like Filipino food. He loves the Philippines, but he doesn't like their food. He wants to eat out a lot more than I probably would. I might eat out more than I think, but right now, but myself, I would probably eat a little more Filipino food than he would, because he won't. As far as I know, he won't eat any. But I would eat breakfast probably almost all the time at home. I don't know how much I'd go out for coffee. It's just, I don't know. I mean, until I get there, I don't know. That's why I said I want to start off with a lower budget and see how well I do on that. And if I have to, I can always raise it. But you always want enough money that you can put money back every month. I do agree with Steve on that. You need to live below what you have coming in so you can save money. And with that money, you can either replace what you got to use for emergencies or take better trips, So it depends on my health, how much I travel out of the Philippines. If I'm having great health and everything's going well and I'm saving a lot of money, I'll make it. LV, 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 LV. Welcome, LV. Thank you for coming. But I would take trips out of the country if I have the money. But like I said, I got to see how things go. Like I said, everything depends on health. I mean, let's be honest about it. I'm 70 years old. I won't go over there till I'm probably about 72, maybe over 73. So we'll have to see. And once I get over there, will I have the energy to do everything I want to do, or will I be more of a stay around the area I'm at and maybe once in a while take a trip? All that comes into play. I really don't know. If I went now, or if I could have gone when I was 65, I'd have traveled. I can guarantee I would have traveled because I had the energy. I had the stamina. But we don't know in another 2 to 3 years. Right now, if I could go right now, I would travel some, but not as much as I would have at 60 or 65. All right, Elvie, I thank you for stopping by. I probably won't go much longer anyway. I'm glad you did stop by and say hi. Hopefully you gave me a thumbs up. And enjoy your durian. I'm not so sure I would like durian. Jackfruit I'd probably like, but I'm not sure about durian. I know I like dragon fruit. I've had dragon fruit. That's really good. I like mangoes. But there's some other fruit there I would really like to try over there. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing it out, Elvie. I appreciate all your support. Like I said, we're just going to be wrapping this up here in a little bit. I've been going for almost 2 hours, not quite, but up close to it right now. I had Sir Jerry was up here earlier the first hour, for most of the first hour with me. And this last hour, I've been by myself. So, been talking with Big Mac Daddy, Edward Beck. And we know, Elvie, we really appreciate it. And one of these days after I hit 1,000, we'll have to have a celebration where we give some money away, like we did for my 70th birthday. But I have to have over 1,000 people before I do that. I don't plan on monetizing myself. I really don't. Just too much work, I think. And maybe someday I'll do it, but not while I'm working 40 hours a week. I just do it. You guys keep me busy with all the comments I get from your subscribers that will come over and check out my videos. I'll spend a couple hours some days just answering everybody's comments. And with that work, you do that. Makes for a busy day. Like I said, I didn't put up any fresh videos this week. So we'll just next week I'll try to get up a couple, but I can't guarantee it. This is the one thing I really enjoy doing on my channel is the live stream. So I really enjoy doing this. I really like talking with Ed and Jerry and Danny and Dan. And like last weekend, I had Danny from Road to the Philippines and Jamie from Off the Cuff Adventures with Jamie. They both came up last week. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoy people coming up and talking with me. As my friends know here locally and my family, this is my entertainment. This is the one thing I look forward to every week if I'm going to be home. Like I said, when I went back home to Terre Haute, I didn't do one this year. Last year I did, but this year I didn't. But that's all right, it's what I enjoy doing. So, all right. I think I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down, guys. Been going for almost 2 hours. Like I said, I've been up here by myself for the last hour. I want to thank each and every one of you that's still in the chat for coming. And Ed, thanks for keeping me entertained with your questions and comments. And everybody else, thank you for your comments. Like I said, we all have to decide what we want to do with our lives. Ed wants to go over, meet his girl, get married, bring her back. I don't blame him. That's good for him. That is the best situation for him to do. I don't want to do that. I want to go over and stay. And it's best that I don't hook up with somebody before I go, because I want to know that I like the place I'm going to be living. If you hook up with somebody first, you may go there and that's where they're going to be and that's where you're going to be, and you may decide you don't like it. And I don't want to be in that situation that I have to choose between the woman that I really like or a place I hate. Living a place I hate. I would just prefer to find my place first and then try to find a good woman after that. Because I'll be honest with you, once I get there and get settled down, I wouldn't mind having a good woman at least as a girlfriend, even if we're not living together, someone I could spend time with, travel with, enjoy the company of, and I don't mean necessarily the physical company. If you know what I'm saying, I'm not talking about the sex part of it. I'm talking about someone I enjoy having beside me, talking, traveling, enjoying each other's company. I miss that from my most from my relationships I've been in before. I miss the companionship as much, if not more, than the sex. At my age, probably more. And so, like I said, once I get settled and know where I want to be, then I'll try to find something like that. But I hope it's a good. I hope it's a good woman. You know how that goes. You can meet a lot of bad, and that's the same thing. I'm not talking about the Philippines. I'm talking about anywhere. I've dated some women here that in the States that weren't good for me. More than one I've dated. That's one of the reasons why I moved out here to New York. I kept dating the same kind of women. They were decent women, but they weren't good for me. And so I really don't want to put them down. But it just wasn't a good fit. And I kept going out with the same kind of woman. It just wasn't a good fit. And so I decided the only thing I could really change is where I was living. So I left. And I ended up out here in New York State. I've been out here now for well over, oh God, I've been out here for almost 30 years now, not quite. A couple more years, I'll be out here for 30 years. By the time I leave, by the time I retire and move, I'll be out here for about 30 years. I've been out here a long time. Now, not down where I'm at now, because originally I was up around Rochester. I was up there for over 25 years. So, been down here for about 3 years. So about 25 there, about 3 here. A couple more years will be 30 total. But all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I want to thank you all for coming. And I'll try to catch up with you on your videos or your live streams later in the week. I'm going to shut this down, go relax for a while before I go to bed. I would go to bed now, but when I do a live stream like this, I got to unwind first. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I'm so glad you did. Hope you all have a good week, the rest of your weekend, and a good week. I know it's Sunday already in the Philippines, Saturday night here in the States. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you have left of it. And I hope you have a good week. And hopefully I'll see you guys back here next Saturday. And I'll let you know what's going on then. And we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Hopefully we'll have somebody come up and talk with me again. 2, 3 people, whatever. Enjoy it. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Have a good day. And love you all. Thanks. Bye.